Live. Hello. Where is Steve?
I'm messing with you, mate.
First of all, today was different.
I couldn't resist. I thought, yeah, let's just.
That was
I should have left it longer. I should have went. Yeah, I should have given you a good minute sweating on that one. Sorry, man.
That was perfect. That was perfect. That was different. That is the way. That is the way to do it. That means that we're going to have lots of fun.
Yeah,
for
man.
everybody. First of all, for everybody is there. I just see that Jimmy is there. Dan is there. Spider is there. Everybody is coming. For everybody is going to come to the live to see Steve. I think he's a legend. I think he's an important guy for all of us who don't know Steve. We're going to know a little better today because he has a big background of mountain boards before, and we're going to know a little more today. He works more with electro boards too, and he's a guy who can create rides, special rides for everybody to go and enjoy trails, off-road, and the last one he created that was like magic. I love it. And I have today the video from Lee there, and we have the video from Ted from Trump who create a special video for him. I think Trump is a fantastic team, and they take care of these riders and his friends. First of all, my friend Steve, hello.
Yeah. Hello, mate. Hi. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you to make my day very special because we started in a perfect way. That is very special for me, my friend. I love when I have a person who can make me laugh and enjoy it. First of all, like always, how everything started for you, my friend. Not in the electric, the background, what you like. How do you start it with a 4 wheels or 2 wheels? How everything started for you, my friend. Take your time, and we're going to listen a little more about you and learn a bit about what you
yeah.
like.
Okay. Yeah, I think 1976, skateboarding came along. It was on the telly and things, and so we wanted to skate. First skateboard was a roller skate, split in half, nailed it to a bit of wood, painted that wood lovingly, blue and silver, actually, if I remember rightly. And no grip tape, of course. And it was probably only about that long and about that wide. But that was it. I had a skateboard, and that was mine. And then the next year, 1977, I went to a skate park in Portland Bill in Weymouth. And I rode urethane wheels for the first time, a proper skate with transitions, concrete park, banks, snake run, and a couple of bowls and stuff, and that was it. I just thought, wow, this, because all I'd been riding is tarmac on a roller skate split in half, but to ride urethane in a concrete park was just the most amazing thing, just bonkers. And we were camping down in Weymouth, and this was in Portland Bill, and all my other brothers, they were go-karting, I was skateboarding, and then we get back to the campsite that night, and Elvis had died. Elvis was dead. Everybody was like, oh no, Elvis is dead, crying their eyes out. And I'm just stoked. I'm going like, I don't give a about Elvis dying. I've been skateboarding on urethane, on concrete, and that was it. And then, yeah, it just went from there and there and there and there. And pretty much just skateboarded. I mean, yeah, we were skateboarding vert, no flat bottom in the vert, nothing like that. Crazy stuff. And then it just grew, and I grew with it. And then 2001, I suppose, I bumped into mountain boarding. Friends bought me a pogo stick, which was pretty rubbish. I took it back to the shop, Said, what else can I have? And they said, we've got a X-Demo mountain board. Buy that. Oh my God. That's me doing freestyle. That's me to a T doing freestyle. Hug and hope. Hug and hope. Yeah, and I bought a board and very, very quickly realised that this was access to all areas. A mountain board just meant that I didn't have to go to Skatepark and hang around with, already by when 2001, I was probably 35, 36, thinking maybe I shouldn't be hanging around skate parks with kids anymore. So to get a mountain board and access all areas and go, I can ride this anywhere I like. That was brilliant. And then once I got that mountain board, I entered England beat Argentina 2-1. We got very drunk. We were celebrating in the pub till about 3 in the morning. And the next day was a competition up at Court Farm in Herefordshire. And I went along to that, and somebody told me to enter. I mean, I was hungover. I was still pissed, to be honest. And I entered it. And back then, basically mountain boarding, if you went to the race and stayed up, you won. It was all about people coming out the gates, riding as fast as they can till they fell off, then getting back up and going again. It was no spectacle. It was no fine art at all back then. But I was lucky enough to win, and people said, "Yeah, you're okay. You're winning this." MBS came over and said, "Look, you can have a very sort of like light-handed sponsorship deal." And I thought, "Wow, let's do this." And then I just went from there. Love racing, board across, in the gates, out the gates, boom. Race, get the whole shot, get out first and stay up and finish first. That was my ethos and that was my plan. Practice the tracks. So yeah, got 5 times UK champion in the Masters class, the over 30s, which at first was a bit of a joke event, the over 30s, but by the time I finished, I left it in a much better place than it was before we started. And competitive racing, I always had a yardstick of how I did in the overall times for the whole card, the race card. And back then in mountain board events, to be possibly 150 riders, the biggest field I think ever was 280 riders. So there'd be 50 plus in the open category and the pro category. And if I was in the Masters and my qualifying times are in the top 15, top 20, then I was happy. That's what I was aiming for all the time. It was my times against the really good guys. But as an over 30 in the Masters, I was lucky enough to do really well. And then I ended up helping out as the riders rep, then the vice chairman, then the chairman. So I was running the events. And, so all the kids in the mountain board world were my mates. I was getting on for 40 by this time, and I'm hanging out with, Sonny Boy and Nathan and Eamon, all the boys. And
they are very special persons.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to watch them blossom from like young kids into young adults and racing really hard, way better than I ever could. Or, doing stuff I wish I could. Still never backflipped intentionally. And I wish I could. Maybe I will one day. And so, and then from mountain boarding, it was a fairly natural progression sooner or later. And kids came along, so I stepped off the board. I was taking, I broke my ankle at Rush Skatepark skating. So I really slowed down on the boards completely. And then Ted just tapped me up and said, "Steve, we want to get you on the board." And he came down with Eamon.
That was a special day for you.
It was a shit day in weather-wise and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it pissed down with rain, and sorry about the language. It chucked it down with rain, and we probably only rode for about 45 minutes before Eamon's board was completely trashed. Well, his camera, sorry, not his board, was completely mud. But that was enough. I was bitten. Then I realised that these boards had finally arrived. The technology was there. There it is. That was the day. That was the day right there. Me, Raf Laroche, and Johnny Burton. I think the average age, or the collective age between all three of us would have been about 165, I should think. Maybe 150, 160. But yeah, there was 3 of us, no spring chickens. And we went out and in these dreadful conditions. But I was bitten then. I phoned Ted on the way home and said, "Ted, that's just an amazing bit of kit and I want one."
That was a fantastic video. I think lots of guys see it, and that was our brilliant idea from Trump to bring all the riders. Now that they bring Dan, they bring you, they bring 2 or 3 more. They're going to bring more guys. I'm sure next year, and I think that was very, very special for all of us.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, you know, let's break no bones about it, man. Electric skateboards, mountain boards, or whatever. The e-board, it's not cheap. You know, it's for disposable incomes. It's for middle-aged men. Almost, I mean, if I'm honest, I was lucky that at the age of 37 I started mountain boarding, and I had my midlife crisis early. You know, I became a kid again at the age of 37. You know,
like me.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's happening again now with the e-board. Suddenly, like these guys with, you know,
taking care.
Kids have grown up. They've got disposable income. They can spend a couple of grand on a board, and they can go out and have fun. And there's no rules anymore, you know. And Ted was clever there. He said, you know, let's get a video made up. As, you know, the Silver Surfers, the grey guys, you know, are still out there having fun and showing what's possible, you know. And yeah, I've never looked back. Before I got my e-board, I was probably riding for the last few years, riding a longboard 4 or 5, 6 times a year. I'd go to Bournemouth Skatepark because that's where my mother-in-law is. That's a really nice park. I love it. I'd carve around that. I might ride my mountain board at Bugs Boarding at somebody's birthday or a party at Bugs Boarding, and the Mount Fest, which happens there every year, brilliant event. And that would be about it. That's the only, and if I'm lucky enough to go snowboarding, I'd go snowboarding. But that would be it for boarding. But now I've got an e-board. I'm out every week, every fortnight, admittedly in the winter, a bit less than that, a bit in the summer, you know. I'm riding again, you know. And,
yeah. And for you as a rider, when you start the first time the electro mountain board, how was the feeling for you?
Liberating. Liberating. Just
and today, do you ride sometimes without motors, or today is just electro?
I took my kids down the skate park the other day, and I rode the half pipe. Mountain board. I haven't ridden a mountain board since I've got an electric board. And, yeah, that's true, man. I mean, but the real thing about that, and I know it's oh god, it's really, really annoying in a sense that to really get a good buzz out of a mountain board, you've got to push yourself and you've got to take risks, and you putting yourself in a really uncomfortable place with no brakes, and you just know that like the payback on that board is chucking yourself down a hill and making it clean and just getting out the bottom alive. And that's the massive buzz from mountain boarding, and it's difficult to replicate in any other way. You know, you could do it on a wave surfing, and you could do it down a hill snowboarding, but you see, on a snowboard you've always got the luxury of putting an edge in and having a brake. And likewise on a electric mountain board, I've got the brake now, and at my age, with the responsibilities I've got, I can hook it down hills, I can take risks, but I've got the luxury of that brake. And that's the big difference, you know.
For everybody's looking, that is mountain board, that is without motor.
Yeah. I'd like to say that was me in the orange there in the whole shot, but it's not. I think it's maybe Slovenia. Fantastic track.
Yeah, but that is for everybody who's coming or later is going to see the video, that understand that there is a big difference without motors and with motors, because with motors you have the brakes, and without motors you don't have nothing. You just have yourself and taking the risks.
Way more commitment. Definitely more commitment. Just riding a gravity board without the brakes and the motors. To get the payback, to get the real buzz, you have to commit. You have to lock and load, basically. And again, you know, with the straps and the whole heel strap debate, you know, you need to have bindings, and you need to be. I mean, the Americans, a lot of the American guys would disagree with me because they don't like the heel straps. Well, it comes from border cross tracks. They used to have a push start out the gates, whereas we'd have a steep drop out the gates. We'd pull out the gates, and then everything on our track was gravity fed. And some of the tracks in America that they designed weren't like that, and you had to push out of the gates with 1 foot. And so, heel straps weren't an option. And that's how the two sports, I mean, it's interesting that's how the two styles, I mean, the UK style is very, very strong about the heel straps and strapping in and lock and toe committing in that sense. Even in such a young sport, it's evolved in certain ways. And now the e-boards come along. It's access all areas again. When I had a skateboard, I could only ride concrete, I could only ride tarmac, I could only ride pavements and stuff. And then I got a mountain board, and it's like I'm riding dirt, and I can go anywhere I want. But now with an e-board, I'm not even looking for hills anymore. I'm just looking for dirt. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Stu Kirk told me, he said to me the other week, he goes, it's all about going uphill, Steve. Which is right. I mean, it's a skill and a talent and a weapon in my armory that I haven't really experimented on at all yet. Booting really fast and keeping the momentum to go up a hill on an electric mountain board. You can see it in 10, 15 years time. There's going to be like you get trials riders in motocross and motorbikes, where the courses are so technical and difficult. You could be doing that on a mountain board, up circuits, down circuits, up hills, down hills, rocky sections, drop offs, drop ups, step ups, all sorts of shit, we've just started.
But the question is like this, my friend. Do you think for you as a off-road man, electro off-road, do you think if you have a background of mountain board is not important, because you're not going to have motors, you're not going to have brakes, then maybe you're going to know a little better to work with the electro board, mountain board?
Yeah, absolutely. It was transparently obvious when we showed up at the Evolve UK Championships last year. It was the Tramper Boys showed up, and I played it. I was a bit naughty about it. I played this dumb old man in a Hawaiian shirt, and I spoke to Kevsey and all the organisers what's going on here at the weekend, and they go, "Oh, we're racing the electric board UK Championships." I said, "Oh, I might enter that." And he goes, "Well, have you got a board?" And I goes, "No, I think a mate of mine's bringing one down." just spat him. And then we entered the next morning, and we were practicing on the track on the Saturday morning, and yes, there was two things that happened that day. These guys on these trampers strapped in with heel straps, these big boards with a big monster battery box in the middle, and these big tires were pretty intimidating in the start gates. To have quite a few guys on their Evolves, which were, no disrespect to Revolves, or they were a lighter weight, a lighter model than the mountain board. And we were lucky that they gave us a dirt track to race. Evolve could have put that event on anywhere they wanted. They could have built a track to suit their Evolve boards, and they'd have cleaned up, no problem. The fact that Tom done that event on an Evolve board with like one sky hook, I think, props to him, man, because that was like a mountain board across track on the flat. That was a brilliant track for the Tramper Boys. I showed up there thinking that there's 10 other Tramper guys there. They're all half my age, so I can come 11th. Best case scenario, if all the Tramper Boys perform, I could possibly make 11th, because I'm not going to beat any of the other Tramper guys. But I got lucky. The heats I didn't really come up against many other Tramper guys, and I just rode like I used to ride a board across track, and I enjoyed it so much. It was so much fun. That's the most important part of it. The track was brilliant. It was set up for Goofy. I had 7 toe side turns and 1 hillside turn in the whole track. You know, I was smiling when I first saw it. I thought, man, this is goofy all over. And yeah, I had a great day. Ended up 6th. So, you know, I think Dan might know that. You can ask Dan where I finished because I mean, he's got better track than that.
Yeah, but
but yeah,
but they involve Turnium. I think the guys from involve was with the 4 motors. Yeah, is that right?
Oh yeah. I think they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
They did the dirt track with the 4-wheel drive. That was maybe what they were showcasing, and maybe that's what they're going to be selling in the next year or two. But there was no denying the fact that we showed up that day, and there was two breeds of riders there. There was guys who'd come from longboarding and the e-skate world and were finding their way on the dirt, and then there was the mountain boarders, 10, 15 of us from Tramper, who were completely at home in that environment.
Yeah.
And it showed, you know, like there was 3 Trampers in the final. And we all had a great laugh and fun. No one took it too seriously. And, you know, I've got nothing but absolute props to Evolve for putting that event on the way they did.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, and letting us in and letting us race them, because, you know, they could have played this whole, well, hang on a minute, guys, you know. But no, they didn't. It was great.
No. It's great. I think that was a fantastic thing to show that we can do everything together.
Brilliant. Yeah.
I think that was a magnificent idea.
Yeah, so in answer to your question, that event did highlight the fact that, I mean, because people were saying to me afterwards, you know, how did you get to ride that? Well, I've been riding a mountain board for the best part of 20 years. Yeah. You know, and that you know, that's the answer. We have got a head start in the all-terrain, you know, off-road side of it, you know. I don't know where Tyler, I mean, he was not 19 or 18 from Australia. I don't know where he cut his teeth. He's probably a fantastic longboarder. You know, he's probably, you know, and I mean, I can name others, you know, Doug Wilson. Oh, God, who's the other guy with the dreadlocks? Met him down at Maidenhead, and he was up there as well. I've forgotten his name. But yeah, longboarders, you know, dyed in the wool. Really good longboarders who know how to carve, who know how to turn hard. And they stepped up from the other way, yeah.
But
to strap into a board like a snowboard on dirt rather than snow.
But in this day, Eamon was not there.
No, Eamon was filming.
Okay, because Eamon is a fantastic rider too.
Yeah. Which, yeah. I mean, I'd have probably ended up 7th if Eamon was there. Maybe worse.
Eamon is a fantastic rider. I see him riding, and the last time it was in England, in France, in a World Cup in France. He shows how great rider he is.
Oh, mate, yeah, natural, yeah, absolute natural, yeah.
I think that was a very special. I just want to say hello to everybody, guys, who come today to see Steve. You have AJ Boston from Australia. You have Jamie from England. You have lots of guys who come to see you, and you have Frank. You have let me see everyone. You have Dan. You have Spider. You have lots of persons are coming now. You have Thomas. Trainer. Yeah, everybody's coming now. Australia, yeah. Jamie is a big guy. He's a fantastic unique. I'm always every time I call him, I'll have lots of fun. Like today with you, we started very good today. You make me go very red, very fast. Oh, he's not anymore. He's gone. He don't want to be here.
I should have left it. I should have left it a minute, man. I should have really struggled.
That was fantastic. Hello, Jay Boston. In Australia, it's good morning, not good night.
Yeah, man.
He's starting the day. We are finished the day.
Good day, mate. Good day.
He's a fantastic YouTuber, and he was together with Ted in Trump. He makes lots of content. Yeah, he makes.
We'll get on the valve caps.
Then when we were talking about today, you are electro mountain board. What do you use, belts or drives? Gear drives.
I'm on a belt. Here we go. I'm a bit of a Luddite when it comes to the whole technology thing. You know, Ted said he wanted to get me aboard. At the time, when I went up to Tramper Towers for tour and to get aboard, Ted knows how I ride. Ted knows what I wanted to ride. I think they're a 160. I mean, like, Jesus Christ. The fact that I can actually say my motors might be 160 is nothing short of a miracle. The fact that I actually know there's a number printed on the side of my motors. So, yeah. Hey, Andrew Cooper, dude.
Yeah. Hello, my friend.
Yeah. So, yeah, Ted gave me a board, a setup, a belt drive 160, and I just went and thought, this is all I need. This is, you know, I said it in that video. This is all I need. I don't really worry too much. So long as it works, so long as I push the button and it goes. In 2 years on that board, well, over 2 years now, I've had the LCD screen on top of the battery box just says 100% all the time, battery power, which is great. Brilliant. You know, I've got 100% battery all the time. And I've broken belts, and I've smashed a truck hanger to pieces with Eamon. That was Eamon's fault. He was making me drive too much. He had a camera, so of course I had. So he put my board, not me. Everything I've done, I've broken on my board has all been physical and consumables. You know, nothing technical, nothing fancy at all. You know, anything went wrong electronically with it. I'm lucky now that in the village there's another guy called Paul Freeman, real good mate of mine. He's got a tramper, and he's an electrical engineer. And so, like, you know, he just relishes the fact when a board breaks down because he can go to work on it. You know, but yeah, 160 with belts. I would, if I could afford it, I'd probably go 9-inch mud pluggers for the winter. But I'm lucky that we've got this place called Minchinhampton just up the road that's short grass with loads of lumps and bumps and jumps. So in the winter, I don't have to really venture out into the mud too much unless I really want to. I went out today, took Ollie, my dog, for a spin round Chelsea Common, and yeah, went into the woods. I've had enough of the common. Let's go out to the Chelsea woods, into the woods. And immediately hit mud, and you know, on 8-inch I was spinning. It was all right, it was okay, but I mean, and with the 9-inch mud pluggers, yes, I went out with two guys, Reese and Ant Wilson, about 6 weeks ago. They both had 9-inch on, and yes, it performed better than my board. One was on OBD, the other was on spur. I have yet to really see the benefits of going spur over belt. The only reason why I'm still with a belt is because that's what I've got. If I saw a massive difference, if I was looking to do, if I saw a massive difference in spur, then I would probably talk to Ted and say, look, mate, cut me a deal, and I'll flip over. But at the moment, my kit doesn't really let me down that much. And you know, if I was left standing by the other guys I was riding with, and it was letting me down, then I would have to think about it. But at the moment, it's doing okay. Yeah. And OBD, open belt drive, I'm still sitting on the fence with that one because I haven't, again, heard enough to convince me that it's the way to go. It's far, far simpler to replace a belt. It's a 2-minute operation instead of a 5-10 minute operation on the side of the road, side of the track, if you want to change a belt. But because it's open, you get dirt and crap and stuff in there. You could be mashing up the wheels, the cogs, and trashing your belt a lot quicker in the first place, which I have, you know. So yeah, I mean, I don't really get into the whole, you know, Nelson, that's not my bag, you know. There's guys out there who know absolutely everything about the technology and all that, but they can't ride for shit. You know what I mean? You know, they just stand and talk rather than get out and ride. You know, I've witnessed that myself. I'm not naming names. I'm not saying where, but you know, I've certainly seen it. You know, they will happily talk about the weight of their valves and how much range they've got and how long they can go for before they overheat, or the weight of their tires or anything. But if I'm there,
My friend, I think you are doing. You have a feedback.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you can hear you all right, my end.
Yeah, in my end. Now it's okay. It's a feedback. It's a feedback.
I didn't do anything. I didn't touch anything. Believe you me.
Wait a second. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the feedback. It's the same. I just want to say something very special because today we have Ted here. Ted is come now.
Okay.
Ted is here. Lots of
Theodore.
guys.
Yes, boy.
Yeah, that is Ted here. And there is lots of guys who come to see you. New
Henry.
persons. Yeah, that is. We're going to see the now. That is lots of persons here. We're going to see the message from everybody. I think there is some questions. We're going to see. That is Jimmy saying hey to Jay, and then we have the Joe. There's the that's skipping. That is Andre Cooper, and then you have Andre.
Andy.
Yeah.
Hey, Andy.
Then you have that is good. Hello, Steve. How are you? And then you have G. Boston. Yeah. And then A. Boston say, okay, with this one, I'm just going to tell something. There is going to come a new Baja board, and Alexander is going to come here on 13th of March to talk about this new board, off-road board. Then I think it's going to be nice. Thank you for asking.
The barge board at all.
Yeah, that is more. The first ones I see, I was with Ted in an event with Ted, and was these guys from the North Monkeys. They are very special.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that.
They are very crazy, and I love them. Hi guys from North Monkeys. I think you are a fantastic group, right? And I see the Baja boards from them. And
I'd have seen them last time I saw them was at Maidenhead at the go-kart track. They were all there.
And now I have a question here for you, my friend Steve. Are you looking to do any more rides or events on the COVID? Because the last event you make, this one you created, was fantastic. We're going to talk about him too. Do you are planning to do?
Yeah, I've seen that question. Yes, as soon as we get the go-ahead, old Bojo sorts himself out, and this whole COVID thing just hopefully goes away. I would happily do it all again. I mean, the pub lunch at the lodge, the charge up at the lodge was fantastic. The golf course at the lodge was brilliant. This is the Randwick Woods. This is the run in the morning. We had a couple of old biddies moaning about the numbers that were there, and I assured them it was a once in a lifetime. It would only ever happen once. Well, it might be once a year. It's as long as everyone behaves themselves, we're not doing any harm, And if we get out there early, there's a few dog walkers and things, and we respect them and slow down and behave ourselves. There's so much room in those woods. I'm more than confident we could do it all again. I think we'd have to try and keep a lid on the numbers. I was surprised at how many people showed up last time. I was expecting a dozen, 12, 15 people. We ended up with over 30 in the car park on a Sunday morning in Gloucestershire. And everybody it was great. It was so nice to see people, everybody pushing themselves, just learning jumps, people doing riding stuff. I think that's Jamie Hadley, isn't it? Or that Louis?
Mm-hmm.
But
but the important thing, but
Louis really stepped up to the plate that day. I've got to give props to him. He was like a man possessed and just grinning from ear to ear. That was the best thing about the day. So many people grinning and smiling, and it worked.
But that's the important thing, is to having maybe those guys that you don't know so well. And you go for this ride, you make the friendship is going to be bigger.
Yeah.
And that is the important thing. You see, everybody here was having fun.
Yeah.
And that's why.
Part of the premise for me that day was that it was certainly billed as an off-road kind of like event, because I'd seen a lot of shots and videos and clips on Carve and eSkate UK and all these things. I'd seen quite a few videos of people on their trampers, riding their trampers, but just pretty much going in straight lines down tow paths, down cycle paths, not really using it to its full potential. And so I said, okay, come down to the woods, come down and see what can be done, what is possible on this. And I'm lucky that the Brindis came, Bieran came, Ant Wilson came, Tim Jones got on a board for the first time in 10 years, which is great to see. All these really go-to, back in the day, brilliant mountain boarders were there in the woods on e-boards, showing these people what's possible, what's possible to, and what you're capable of doing yourself. And hopefully everybody, and then this in the afternoon now we're looking at Minchinhampton, which is a golf course of pure velvety goodness. There's ditches, there's bowls, there's every kind of jump, bump, roller, double hit that you want to hit everywhere on that. You're finding new lines every time you go. And nobody seems to mind that, we're short charging. We keep off the greens, we keep off the tees. And it was a brilliant day. And in between Minchinhampton Common there in the afternoon and Ranwick Woods in the morning, we had a fantastic pub lunch in a pub that let us plug in and charge up. It was idyllic. It couldn't have gone better for me. I was so stoked.
But Steve, you have to think that you make jealous for everybody who was not there, because I know that was lots. I listened for the community who talk about this because of this video. This is a video from Lee, and the important thing is I listened from the community, and the community say, "Bah, I was not there. Bah, why I was not there? I missed it."
Yeah, you're right. It was one of those like I was there moments in a way. There was if you believe everybody. There was 3,000 people at the first Sex Pistols concert in the Trade Hall in Manchester. There was about 30 people there, Joy Division and the Buzzcocks and a couple of other bands. But, everybody who says they were, And, I'd like to think that day that we put on, loads of people, the people who came were like, oh, right, so this is what you could do on a mountain board. This is what it's about. And that's all I wanted from the day. And the fact that everybody just grinned all day and had fun. And the weather was beautiful, and we were just and I'm so lucky. This is all on my doorstep, man. I'm a lucky guy to have all this.
That's why, my friend. I think you have to continue. Oh, the feedback.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Yeah, I'm going to try to put this a little far. No, it's like this, my friend. If you see, I think you have to create not one time in a year, maybe 2 times in a year, something like this, because I think that it can come bigger and bigger. Hello?
You all right?
Can you listen to me? Hello? Hello?
So quiet. Ooh, hey Nelson.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Can you? Okay.
I can hear you fine. Everything is fine my end.
Okay. The important thing for me is if you start this, I think that was like a bless for everybody. Everybody I speak about this event, everybody was like that was the best day of the lives for everybody.
That's all I want.
And I think if you make it 2 times or 3 times in a year, it's not going to be bad. You're going to have lots of friends coming, and it's going to be good for the community. First of all, to know a little more about off-road, because off-road is starting to be very, very big every day. First of all, because of the rules in the streets. I remember the first time I speak with Ted about that, and Ted tell me, Nelson, I'm not against the guys who rode in the roads, but we are a company of off-road. And we want to we like to go off-road, and I understand them the way, and that's why I think if comes people like you who makes a simple event like you created a simple day for you to have fun, and everybody was like, bah, that is crazy.
Well, the reality is, Nelson, is that like nearly every week in the golden years of mountain boarding between 2002 and 2010, that's what we were doing virtually every weekend. I wouldn't think anything about, I stopped clubbing and pubbing and all that sort of thing in Bristol because on a Sunday morning, I'd be jumping in the van at 8:30 in the morning, picking 2 kids up down the road, and we'd drive off to Cheshire. By 10:30, we're getting changed in a pub car park somewhere, and we're going for chucking ourselves down a hill in some woods somewhere, and that's how it was. That's what I've grown, not grown up on, but in that's what I've learned to do. And it's not that difficult really to do if you've got you just invite, especially now with social media, it's pretty easy, and there'd be so many places like. And let's be honest, we live in California. We haven't got wide sweeping stretches of tarmac and pavements and boulevards and stuff. We are an off-road country. The UK is dirty. The roads are shit. The pavements are shit. It's lit. It's busy. Everyone drives like a lunatic half the time. So yeah, I mean, the reality is that there's so much off-road, and of course the right to roam and the public footpaths and bridleways and everything like that, and the electric revolution of being sustainable and less petrol driven stuff and getting off the roads and finding an alternative way to travel. And with COVID, more people staying at home and more people choosing not to go into the cities to work and stuff. There's definitely a valid argument for the UK being another big off-road scene, this time in e-boarding rather than mountain boarding, because at one time it was massive in the world of mountain boarding. You could ask anybody who was involved in mountain boarding why it suddenly died off, why it fell away like it did. Got no answers, no real answers. Yeah, it was a weird one, really. Well, you look at skateboarding. Skateboarding in the 70s was massive. Everybody skateboarded in the 70s, and then insurance kicked in. People started falling off, getting hurt, and it all went crazy. Then it died. And then middle of the 80s, late 80s, Animal Chin comes out, Red Hot Chili Peppers, the clothing, everything. Suddenly skateboarding becomes like the coolest kid on the block again, and it's just taken off ever since. Things happen in cycles, I suppose.
Jimmy is saying, "Hey, let's go. That we have to do it again very soon, Steve."
Yeah, Ranwick. Yeah, absolutely. You see, Jamie was there that day, and he was learning how to jump.
I speak with Ted about 2 or 3 weeks, and I make the interview, and he talks about that, and he said that was like a dream day for me, and he's a very special guy, and he's very funny. Here he's very good. He's very good hearts. I want to say to a beautiful girl that is riding a tramper, and everybody who wants to support the Casey. Casey is a rider now who rides tramper from his boyfriend Tom, and she put out a video. She wants to win this contest.
She
loves to win it. If you have the opportunity, guys, go there, leave a like to the video. Maybe she's going to have lucky to win this award with the tramper, guys. Ted, I know that you are there, my friend. Thank you for coming here. You come to see a very special person. It was fantastic for you to put the video out from him. That means he is very special a person for the tramper team, because I know that Ted is a very, very good for his team. He take care of his family.
And you see, without Ted, I wouldn't be on a knee, but he's have to be in fine style. He looks after all his crew, all his boys, and I know he may rub up a couple of people the wrong way, but that's Ted. That's who he is, and I wouldn't want him to change ever, because he's the bloke I've known for 20 years. He's the bloke I love.
Ted, he loves his tramper. Tramper is like his baby. Tramper is everything for him. And I think that is And I think that is fantastic for a person.
Yeah. I've seen so many companies come into the world of mountain boarding, try it, lick it, taste it, and then not been able to stand the test of time. I mean, what have you got? You've got MBS, Scrub, probably still make boards for a few kiteboarders and stuff like that. There's the collab decks, there's the hero decks as well now. Of course, they're really they're good. And then you've got Ted Tramper, who has just stuck with it in the UK scene. You know, people used to bang on about skater-owned shops and like, you know, keep the faith and spend your money in skater-owned shops run by skateboarders. You know, SS20's gone now. Slam City Skates is probably still going. I mean, I'm struggling to name any skater-owned shops out there. 50/50 in Bristol, of course, my boys. But there's not many of them. And Ted is a mountain board owned shop. You know, MOS. You know, he's stuck with it. And fair play to him, and you know, and the support he gives to the sport of mountain boarding and continually sponsoring his riders and keeping them on the top of the scene.
Yep.
And keeping them in the limelight and keep pushing them and giving them a reason to ride, you know, like, because, you know, you don't get sponsored by sitting on your ass doing nothing. You know, the only way you can get, you know, the only way you can get sponsored is by going out there and putting your name all over it, you know. And they do that because they've got you know, they like to ride as well, but there's an incentive. It cuts both ways, doesn't it? You know, and I would hate to be Ted's accountant, to be honest, because, you know, Jesus Christ, I don't even want to go there, you know, financially, how much he's put into his business.
I have to stop just for 1 second. That is always important to say, because then I don't have no problems. First of all, I don't win no money with the Tramper. I don't win no money with Involve. I don't win nobody. If we talk here, we are talking free about companies, and we don't receive nothing. That is just the way for us. I think Ted is a very special person.
Well, hang on a minute. I'm hoping that there's going to be some product placement right here. The finest Hereford cider out there, if they're listening.
No, I just tell this thing because there is lots of people always thinking that we make something of this. No, yes, but I always tell to everybody, because I know there is lots of bad persons there. They don't want to talk bad about what we are doing. This is for the community. I think Ted is a very special person. I think Trump is a very special company. I think Lee and his company is a very special company. And I think we have to help everybody to grow up. And
Evolve have done some fantastic events. I mean, they've done two of the go-karts down at Maidenhead. Both absolutely brilliant. I mean, it was, was it 10, 15, 20 quid for, you know, that length of time? I mean, to be able to do that, I overtook more people that night on that go-kart track than I would in a whole season in racing mountain boards. You know, I mean, it was just, they are so much fun. And the UK Championships, you know, and the fact that they're an Australian-based company and they are investing that much amount. I mean, are they doing that worldwide? Are they doing that in Czechoslovakia? Are they doing that in France? Are they doing that in America? I'm not sure.
They're going to do it. Was to be last year. There's going to be this year. It's going to be in Germany, the World Cup. If this COVID is going to.
Sorry, I got to say that aside. He's an old flame back in the park. Flame.
Yeah, we are coming close to this program is coming close to reach the record of people seeing live in the same time. I think everybody loves you, my friend, because everybody's coming here to see you live, and I'm very proud.
They're waiting for me to get me cock out. That's all, Nelson.
No, my friend, you are very funny. You are very funny. I can tell you, I know you a little more today because of the Trumper team, because they put you out. I think that the Trumper team was very, very correct correct with you and the riders. I think they're going to continue doing that, bringing the riders out and make videos showing what you are doing and your background, and this way everybody's going to know you a little more, and they can learn with you, my friend.
Like I said, anybody who knows me knows that I really don't take myself too seriously, and I don't really get on with people who do take themselves too seriously. You know, I'll let them know, because it is all supposed to be about having fun. Peer pressure sucks, you know, and that was one of the best things about like the mountain board thing. Anybody could show up at a mountain board event and they could ride and they could fall off, but they wouldn't ever get dissed or, you know that everybody who's been at a skate park knows how intimidating they can be to a young beginner, a learner. You know, they they can be intimidating places, and like mountain board events just didn't ever have that judgment. You know, the crazy thing about it is I know so many mountain boards who are really good friends of mine, and I haven't got a bloody clue what they do during the day. I've got nothing. I know nothing about their personal life really. I might know if they've got a girlfriend or they've got kids or whatever, but you know, I've got nothing on them at all apart from the fact that they would come to this event at the weekend 5 times a year, and we'd all party and we'd all ride really hard, and we'd leave everything out there on the track, and we'd have a good night that night, and then we'd go away, and it was all about having fun. You know, it's almost perverse. Yeah, I mean, like the thing that really annoys me, Nelson. I mean, I digress a little bit, but you go to the Alps, you go to the Alps, and you could be in Val Thorens, or you could be in the Free Valleys in Courchevel or wherever, and you look at the infrastructure there on that hillside. It's millions of pounds worth of investment with the hotels and the pools and the lifts and the peace bashes and everything. It's all about going down a hill on a slippy thing. You know what I mean? There's people living on $1 a day, living on 3 cups of rice a day in parts of this world. And then we are going down hills on slippy things in a multi-million pound industry. You know, it is almost obscene at times. When I have a conscience, when I get serious, that really grates with me. But at the same time, I can't stop going snowboarding and getting out on my board and riding. You know, we're all hypocrites at the end of the day, I'm sure. You know, what should I do? Sell all my boards and buy some rice?
The beautiful.
Anyway,
no, my friend, you are right. We just want to have a little fun. We work so much. And we just want to have. I don't know. It's a little freedom. That is.
Well, you can't change where you're born. Okay?
Yeah.
You know, I can't change that. I was born in this moment in time in this part of the world. And so you make your lot. You know, I've got 2 options really. I either get on and play the game in this society, and I do what I find my own way that makes me happy in this society, or I go off into another society somewhere else and I try and make their life better for them. And I've chosen the former rather than the latter. You know, the ones who choose the latter are elevated and are on their way to sainthood, or whatever you want to put them in, whatever religion or God you're not. You know, but I can do nothing about where I was born. You know, and that's it. You know,
that was the perfect time, my friend. You came in the right time. You have enjoyed it. You are one of the first to start it with these mountain boards. Then you change it. You change it today for electro mountain board. That is like an amazing thing, and you are starting to bring everybody together to know a little more of what is off-roading, because lots of guys just doing in the streets. They have a mountain board, but they go in the streets. That has nothing to do with streets. That is for you to go off-road and enjoy it. If you want to go, you can buy a longboard and you can go to the streets.
Really. Yeah, it's horses for courses, isn't it? I mean, but again, it depends where you live. If you haven't got the ability or the access to get out into the dirt, you know, if you live in the centre of London, then, you know, why buy a mountain board, really? You know, unless you're going to go to Epping Forest every weekend or up to Hampstead Heath, shouted at and ride through dog shit. You know what I mean? for me round here, there's a stretch of tarmac outside my front door. One way goes into the local town and the shops. I will occasionally go down to the supermarket there or the post office on my board if it's a nice day. But by the first corner on board, I'm just stood on a board going down a tarmac road, just thinking, it's just not me. It really isn't. I'd much rather drive to a location, get out the car, have 2 hours just going mental, just blasting it, taking risks, getting an adrenaline fix, and then getting back in the car and driving home, rather than just seeing how long I can ride for. My legs ache, to be honest.
But Steve, you are doing a magic thing for all of us. You have Dan; he's a fantastic rider. You have the guys from Trumpers. You have Sonny. You have Dave. You have Eamon. You have Ted. You have this is your boy.
I haven't got a picture of Ted up here, but yeah, there's
Give me a second. Give me a second. Yes,
yeah.
no.
That's Sam, Sonny, Dav, Eamon, Brindy's at the top there.
Yeah.
And of course, the fastest man on dirt is Nathan Jenkins. Of course, let's not forget Nathan Jenkins. There. Yeah, they're all there.
That's why. That is the important thing. That is your electric family, your mountain board family. The guys who understand you. They speak the same language like you.
Absolutely,
because
right.
Yeah, because the important thing for all of us is we have harmony of speaking the same language. When you are in one place that you are talking about off-road machines with motor or without motor, that is so fantastic to see the reaction for everybody. Because sometimes I don't know something and I can ask to you, and you can say, "Okay, you can do it like this. That is going to be better for you," and you just are going to have. Yeah, please.
It's like this, just as a common bond. I mean, it must exist everywhere. It must exist between rock climbers, footballers, hang gliders, or whatever. When I get into a gang of my mountain board crew, nothing. It's like we pick up from where we left off. I haven't seen them for a year or two or whatever, and we don't really talk about mountain boarding that much. We just have a really good laugh, but we know it's all there, and there's that understanding and that undercurrent. We don't have to. We all know it's already said. It's already been scripted. It's just you say, "Oh yeah, I could save on that hit or whatever." It is weird. There's just this common bond that exists. I do the local village panto, and it's very similar thing there. Like by the time you've got to like showtime, you've had like 3 or 4 months of rehearsals. You've really got to know this crew of people, and you've bonded. And then you do the show and everything, and it's all working, it's all gelling, and everything's just fantastic. And then it ends. It's gone. But with just carry on. I'm just going to get a bottle opener. 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's no problem. For all of you guys who are there, if we don't answer for all the questions, I think Steve has lots of. A big story to tell us. That is important for you guys. If I don't answer now the questions, we're going to answer later. We're going to look to everything, and we're going to try to answer everybody. I want to thank to all the people are here now in the live. There is lots of persons here. I want to thank Steve to come. I want to thank Steve first of all, because all of them, they come here because of you, my friend. I think then you see that you are one of the special persons. I think today, if I'm not wrong, we are the day that we have more persons live.
Hey ho!
And I have close to now.
Bribing then paid off. I sent them all money.
Yeah, but today we is the close to 50 live stream I make. And that is very good that the live stream is coming better and better every day. And I want to thank for all the riders there. And if you have a chance to subscribe to the channel, that is going to help us. We're not going to win no money, but subscribing and leaving a like, then the YouTube is going to make more attention for us. And for all the YouTubers there. I tell that, I speak yesterday with Tom, and I speak again. If you are a YouTuber, if you are not a YouTuber, if you think you can do a channel, make a small channel, help bring the riders here, make interviews, put the community together. Don't need to be from UK, from around the world. Help. I'm alone in this, and I'm very sad to not see so many guys, YouTubers, doing more interviews to the riders. It's very important. Bring the guys, make a channel. Don't think about doing money. You're not going to do money. Just enjoy it. I have a blessed every time I have a new guest here, because every day, first of all, I'm going to make a friend, and second of all, I'm going to learn with him something new, and that is the important thing. That's what I want to say. Steve, let's continue with the interview, my friend. I just want to sometimes to tell to the persons, everybody, and to please.
No, you carry on, Nelson.
Yeah, I just want to show now, because there's lots of message here, and I don't want to lose it. If you have a time, you can see it, the message, what they send you. Let's see. Let's start with Andre.
Yeah, I used to race around Cooper. We had the best of days. Yeah, he beat me a hair down.
Let's see. Yeah. Tom has a question. If I think for the next event, if Casey can come. Yeah. And then we have Simon. Good days, 20 years, right?
A little bit, yeah. That was a good downhill. Cleve Hill, Farringdon, yes. These are all old mountain board horses. You know,
you have Sonny here. He's now here. Sonny, I want to catch you here, my friend. You have to come here, huh?
This is my favorite picture of you, Sonny.
Sonny, you have to come.
This one's getting laminated.
Hey guys, if you that is another thing. If you want to come to the channel and you want to go to an interview, you find me everywhere. I'm always there. I can arrange a special meeting for you guys. I want to bring everybody here. The important thing is for us to have fun. And Sonny is a fantastic guy with his videos. He always make the Trump videos very happy for all of us. David is fantastic too. Everybody, yeah. Yeah, it's very good. Then we go. Let's see here. Then we have again Simon Miss
Simon Harwood. Yeah, he's still banging on about Cleve Hill.
Let's see was amazing.
Andrew there on a wank fest over Cleve.
Steve the legend. That is right, my friend. Let's see. That is. I need to try to get boards down to let parts to make. Yes, that is true.
This is the freestyle thing. You freestyle thing talking here. And I'm right. You see, the way I see it, we don't even know where we're going to be in 10 years from now. But I mean, like, you can imagine a freestyle setup. You only need 15 minutes of power to run a freestyle event. You know, if you've got 4 runs down a slopestyle course, for instance, with rails and booters and kickers and tabletops and stuff, you need maybe 5-10 minutes of riding. So you're going to have a battery in there that weighs absolutely jack, and you're going to be on a light setup, virtually like either a regular mountain board or a regular regular skateboard with weight difference between a normal setup, and that's where they're going to be. And they'll go back up the top of the hill and they'll swap the battery over for another charged up battery, and they'll do their next run. Whereas now, at the moment, of course, we're all just chucking as much power as we can into our board to keep us riding for as long as possible. You know, how long is it going to be before, you know, a Brindis ramp setup, they'll be scaling down their batteries and getting like, you know, I've never really, as anybody who knows me knows, I've never really been that much of a freestyler. It's a young man's game, most definitely. And Christ, I mean, I don't know the difference because I don't backflip and front flip, but imagine the difference in weight from a regular lightweight, just normal board doing a backflip, then suddenly you're doing a backflip with all that extra weight, that pendulum. You know, it's all physics. You know, skateboarding is a science. It's not an art. It's all about the physics of the thing. You know, I have countless rows with people about that, but it is a science, and that mountain boarding is a science. It's all to do with gravity and friction and velocity. And so, yeah, if you're spinning with that much weight between your legs, it's going to change things drastically. And so if you can reduce that weight, that question there that came in about getting things lightweight again, you know. I mean, also there is an argument that you ride what you've got. That's another big like ethos of mine. You know, Jesus Christ, you know, we're so lucky. You know what we've got. You know, this is what my argument with the valve weights first started off. Really, is, you know, when I first went to the Alps, I couldn't even snowboard because it hadn't been invented. I was skiing, you know, and that was the end of it. You know what I mean? So the fact that we progressed this far, you know, I was in a shop today trying to get my card to swipe, and it wouldn't physically put my card in the machine and put my PIN number in, thinking, oh my God, how inconvenient is that? And you're going, first world problems, man. You know, like, you know, 20 years ago, I'd have had to write a check, you know, or whatever, you know, and they'd have had to take that check and down to the bank and actually pay it into the bank to get their money off me, you know. And now I'm moaning about the fact my card won't swipe, you know, and it's the same thing to me. I've got a board, I can press the button, I can go, and that's all I need, really. And I'll ride what I got. You know, I will deal with the weight issues. I wish my board was probably lighter, but it rarely breaks down, so I don't have to carry it that much. When I've had to carry it, it's actually heavy, but, you know, them's the brakes, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not that.
Let's see. Now we have a guy who came here today that's very special for you. Matt is here.
Well, no, I'll stop you there, Nelson, because I much rather prefer his brother, Andy. No, hey, Brindy, how you doing, mate? No, I mean, like, if there's anybody who's represented the sport of mountain boarding over the last 10 years, it's Matt Brind. You know, he took it to, I mean, he got asked to do it, but he took it off to the, I've forgotten what it is now, the, not the X Games, Nitro Circus.
Mm-hmm.
He's going around the world touring with Nitro Circus, doing double backflips and 7s and 9s and all sorts, you know, in front of stadiums. And world champion, God knows how many times in the European tracks and in the UK. Yeah,
and they are fantastic persons, the two of them, the two brothers.
Yeah,
they are
absolutely.
amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
Andy's far nicer than Matt. Matt's got all the gold, isn't he? You know.
Matt, sorry, my friend, you are out. So let's see what. Hi, Matt. Everybody's talking, and then Jamie. Hi, Matt. Then I love. Hey, Steve. Then Matt. Do it. Who is Pedro?
Actually, it's Jorge. It's not Pedro.
Okay.
I invented an alter ego, one mountain board event once, many years ago, down at Haredown. I wasn't actually racing, but I'd been asked to come along and do the commentary. And I arrived with a big old full beard and moustache and everything, and just being myself. And the next morning, before I came out to do the commentary, I nipped behind my van. I had a shave and gave myself this big old, like, handlebar moustache kind of thing. A big old mullet wig, glasses, a straw hat, splashed myself with Brute aftershave, a Venezuelan flag T-shirt, and a pair of Speedo shorts with socks and sandals. A really good continental look, I suppose, quite strong. And I was Jorge, Steve Birkbeck's cousin. Steve couldn't make it for the weekend, so his cousin from Venezuela, Jorge, came over. But my shorts were made by Speedo, and they were grey. And somebody had got some grey gaffer tape and blanked out the S, so my shorts were then pedo. So I'm like walking around this mountain board event with an awful lot of people, the general public, doing the commentary, dressed as this crazy Venezuelan guy called Jorge with probably the worst Venezuelan accent you can imagine, half drunk on rum with pedo written across my shorts, my budgie smuggling shorts, to be honest. Yeah, it was a really funny weekend. And I think that is the reference to Pedro, which, you know, again, you know, Brindy.
Let's see what is here.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, Jorge, my cousin. He's never been back. He only came that once. Never seen him again.
One time in life.
Yeah.
Let's see what you know.
No, that's Dan Watson, and that's a joke from today. I don't even know what that means. I'm not even going to warn that with an answer. Some guy called Mal makes oatcakes on the internet.
Skate parks are the nice parts ever. Most
Yes,
helping in the parts of the world. Yeah, I think too. People helping people.
I don't know who you are, Zachary Wilson, but I certainly agree with that. I've seen so many skaters. All I can say is that if they are really welcoming, and I can certainly agree with you, but there's been a few times when I've gone to skate parks and everyone's just better than me. And I'm like, oh God, I'll in a minute. And I'm going to be shit and they're going to be great. And of course they'll give you the time and let you do, but just that first instance of when you get there and you have to get up on the clip. And of course I normally do something stupid. I mean, the first mountain board competition I ever went to, I had my helmet on backwards. I've done about six drop-ins on this course and everyone's like watching me and my helmet's on backwards, you know what I mean? And that's the sort of thing I do at a skate park. I get there and as I'm running up the transition to get onto the platform, I slip and slam my chin against the coping. And, that's going to hurt. And everyone's going, oh God, who's this old bloke showing up stinking a piss with no teeth? And yes, so when I said skate parks are intimidating, they're probably not intimidating to the more astute and just the more naive and innocent people. They just show up and they skate and they don't really care. But for someone who's maybe a little bit older like me or whatever, and yes, they have, that knuckle drag. Yeah, probably I was wrong to say that skate parks are intimidating, to be honest. There's just I was trying to get around that. I was making a point about being judged by people, I think, at the time, and I probably used skate parks as the wrong example, to be honest. So, yeah, Zachary, you're right to pull me up on that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see.
There we go.
So, Tom, good to everyone. Let's see.
Yeah, they're just having a chat amongst themselves. I don't even know why we're here, Nelson. Brindy and Thomas are having a chat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
just back on about the old days.
The back to front and then Sonny just wants to that is good for him.
Then I don't think he would, Sonny. I don't think Sonny would beat Dan Watson in a race. Dan Watson is reborn. I mean, like, that was like one of the best things ever. I mean, that is without doubt, of all the e-boarding stories that I've got, the fact that Dan Watson now down in Cornwall, it's, I wouldn't say it's a lonely existence down there, but it's a fairly isolated existence. He's a long way from buttfuck anywhere. And the fact that him and an e-board brought out this whole new world for him to get involved in and just start riding again and having an involvement, and because he's on that E-Trails site now in America. The guys on the one wheels, Jesus Christ! I mean, it's the unicycle guys, the EUC guys that are absolutely killing it. The guys on the one wheels, which I guess is the big fat tire between your feet, you're standing in a regular board stance. I think they need to get hold of some bindings and then see where they go with that. But I know it's all gyroscopic, so like if you're landing and stuff. But the electric unicycle guys, I mean, that's electric trails riders site that Derek Wilson, I think it is, and Dan Watson's got involved in. And like, this is strictly about riding trails and nothing else. I don't want to see a picture of your board looking nice and clean. I just want to see you riding down trails. It's been a revelation for me seeing what these nuts do on. I thought mountain boarders were mad, but I've seen. There's a guy in snowdrifts on an electric unicycle the other night. He was pootling about in the snow that was like over a foot deep. You wouldn't get a mountain board doing that. I mean, Ted might correct me. A 4-wheel drive, full spec thing might well do it. How long it would last with all that snow kicking around, I don't know. And this other guy, Jesus Christ, he fell off a trail, and this thing bounced and bounced and bounced and bounced and bounced all the way down this hillside. And he got down to the bottom, and the handle was a bit knackered and stuff, but it was still turning. I reckon he could probably ride it after that. they're mental, you know, and no one knows where we're going to go with this. This is what it's really exciting in a sense.
And I think that don't matter. The important that we have fun.
Absolutely. The one thing which is different this time to all the other things that I've been experienced in like the rise of skateboarding, and not so much snowboarding, because I started snowboarding late in the rise of snowboarding. This time we have got a very, very well established social media, and the biggest and worst thing about social media is how divisive it can become so quickly, how things can escalate so quickly. Just a couple of little things said and somebody takes offense and puts something up, and then they reply and it bounces back. I've experienced it. I've been a victim of it myself. I once told a girl in America not to pull the claws out of her cat, and Jesus Christ, I got it big time. You know, I call it, you know, you sticking your head above the social media parapet. If you're prepared to stick your head over the parapet and have a swipe at somebody, you've got to be able to take all 7 shades of shit coming back at you, because and we've seen it. You've seen it, Nelson, on certain websites. You've seen people, God, you know, like
I hate it.
You know, people on the on a certain branded website would say, look, if you don't even own the board, what are you even doing on here? You know, and all this sort of thing. It becomes very divisive very, very quickly, which is Simon Pass. Yo, Simon. he's a guy I used to skateboard with when I was at school. And he wants to buy an e-board. He knows he hasn't yet.
Let's see the next one.
Outgrass, what a track, what a centre. That's another throwback from Brindy about the old days in mountain boarding. Yeah, great track. I would say, to be honest, the top half of that track was a little bit repetitive with far too many rollers, but that is just me as a racer who I like burns. I liked
a big
but yeah, my nickname is Big Ant, you know, rollers for days, man. Absolutely right. Simon Harwood. We can hit the like. Yeah, definitely. Everyone should like Nelson. Everyone should support. Everyone should subscribe to Nelson. He's doing this for the fun, and we are having
fun. First of all, this is not for me. This is for us.
Yeah.
I said before, and I'm going to say it again. If someday this is going to make some money, I'm going to give it, all of them, to the community. I'm going to make for events. I'm going to make for something. I'm going to give. I don't want no money. I just want one thing: us to stick together. For you to organize more events. For us to have a blessed.
You pay me.
Yeah. That's why, my friend. For me, that's the important thing. That is nothing else. Hey, you have family. You have family. I have family. We just want to have. We work every day. We just want to have fun.
God, yeah, Nelson. When I was running the mountain board events, the payback was just massive. I mean, it was hard work. I would be loading my van up on a Wednesday night. I'd be going to the mountain board centre on a Thursday. We would get there Thursday night. Friday morning, we'd start setting up. People would come and practice Friday. We'd race all day Saturday. We'd do freestyle on Sunday. And then Sunday afternoon, pretty much everybody would leave the field apart from the hardcore crew, who would help me pack everything back in my van. And then we'd pack it all. This is when I was running the events. People had done it before me and people had done it after me. I'm not blowing my own trumpet here. Everyone else has done their bit. But I did it because it was fun. You know, nobody ever made any money out of it. But the fact that you were just able, I was blessed, absolutely blessed. And so lucky to be right place, right time, without a doubt. Those days have gone now and we'll never be able to replicate them again. We may well do in the world of e-boarding, but like I say, I think some of the magic has gone because of the social media thing. But I did feel that vibe when we were down at Evolve in the UK Championships, and maybe over the event in Paris where you were when you met Eamon and that lot. It's a coming together, and there's a nod. There's just a knowing between you people that you've all got this common thread. You don't need to talk about it. It's just taken, accepted, and you just get on with it.
Yeah, but Steve, we have to talk it. We have to talk it like the event you created. I know that you're going to make another one, and you're going to have more persons because everybody's going to talk for years and years for the event you created, my friend.
Well,
Do you understand? There is something is going to always stick forever. It's like this in Paris was the same thing, and there's things we cannot forget. The team of Trump was there to support one small event, and lots of guys around the world was there. And you see from a small event that was so big that everybody wants to go there every year, and every year because of this COVID-19 we cannot do nothing, and that is the magic.
It is a magic, but it's. If I could add to that, I would say it's dangerous and probably wrong to kind of like live in the past. I mean, like everybody has probably had, not everybody has, but you know, I can remember I had when I was probably about 22, 23, I had like the best New Year's Eve party ever. You know, it was just amazing. Everything was there, everything I needed, and it went on for like what felt like days. And every New Year's Eve after that, I'm chasing that party. But it's done. It's gone. It's done. And like Paris at the time was amazing. Involved UK championships. Maybe those 2 go-kart gigs in Maidenhead will never ever happen again like that. We may never ever replicate that buzz again. It's going to be different next time. So we keep evolving and we keep pushing it and try and make it fresh and lively. And that's part of the exciting thing as well, isn't it? Is that we just keep growing, and more people get involved, more and more people, because there are probably aspects about, the gig in Paris that you would probably say, actually, that could be done better. Imagine if we did that, a hot tub at the end of the race, or a water jump or whatever, that everyone could jump into at the end with loads of beer in it or whatever, whatever. Just stupid stuff, and the Evolve gig down in the UK Champs down in Devon, things about that could change, and I think we learn from each event and make it better and stronger, and that's how a sport will grow. Our biggest problem really with e-boarding is keeping the fresh blood coming in, and is it always going to be what do you reckon the average of an e-boarder is, Nelson?
Sorry, what you said, I that caught it. Can you repeat it?
The average age of an e-boarder.
Now, today, I'm going to tell you that we're going about 30 to going up. But most of the people are more than 40 years old.
And the reason for that is that it's expensive as an entry level. It's expensive as an entry level, and possibly a lot of these guys, we've got the midlife crisis thing coming on. Mm-hmm. A lot of guys had a buzz skateboarding, snowboarding, mountain biking, or whatever when they were younger, and they've had an element of responsibility, and now they've got disposable income again. They've got their house, they've got a bit of money secured, and they can afford to buy a board. Do we just accept that and say that this is going to be a sport of 40-year-olds? Or do we start looking to, because if you want it to be done and cool with the kids and stuff, you've got to get the kids involved. How do you manage that on an entry-level kit that's 2.5?
Steve, the big problem here is...
And do we want that?
Yeah, we don't want... The big problem here is this, Steve. The kids from today is not the kids from us in our time, because we play in the streets. We don't have the. Today there is a computer, there is a PlayStation, there is and the kids don't want to do nothing. Like us, we have a wheel, we go out and we have fun. Today you say to a kid, go and play with this wheel. He say, "Are you crazy? That is stupid."
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to agree with that to a degree. I've managed with my 2 kids to. I mean, they're as happy jumping out of a tree or falling in a ditch as doing that as they are playing Harry Potter on the Xbox or whatever. You know, there's a balance, isn't there? You know, and maybe too many parents are lazy with their kids, and I don't want to offend anybody, but you know, like, you know, you have to get that balance. I'm lucky; I've got the great outdoors outside my back door. We can open the door, we can be in a ditch within 30 meters. We can be up a tree in 10. You know, that's easy for me. It's a lot harder for the inner city kids and stuff. Yeah, definitely. But the UK champion last year at the Evolve gig in Devon was Tyler. He's what, 18, 19. You know, the guy can run.
Yeah, he's very good.
He may have been on a borrowed board. I don't know. But yeah, it is a tricky one. I mean, the beautiful thing about skateboarding and the beautiful thing about skateboarding always has been, it is just so punky. It's just so rebellious. It's never been really tamed. I mean, all you got to do is go on the internet now and see the vehement debates and arguments and discussions about whether skateboarding should be in the Olympics or not. You know, this is massive.
But Steve, don't forget one thing, that normally the skates, they're going to start this year in Olympians.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That is going to be the first step, and I think then is going to come the mountain boards. Is the second step.
Yeah, snowboarding was dragged kicking and screaming into the mainstream. You know, people. How on earth are you ever going to be able to? How on earth are you going to get a format that can be judged for snowboarding? You know, that was the main thing. Before we got into the snowboarding coming to the Olympics, that's what they were talking about. Is how are you going to have a format that can actually be judged? They found the border cross, which is hilarious. And I have to say, I watched the border cross on Ski Sunday last week, and we have a UK champion. Sorry, Nelson, I know it has no effect on you at all, but to anybody in the UK, I can't even remember her name, but she won the border cross, and it was a fantastic race. It was absolutely brilliant. You should watch it. Yeah. She won the border cross, snow border cross, and snow ski cross is just absolutely brilliant fun, really good, and the slope style as well. You know, they have found a format that works. They've got the X Games. Well, that's what they're going to do, aren't they? They will copy and paste the X Games format for skateboarding into the Olympics. There'll be a street course, and there'll be a big air, quite possibly. Will vert ramp get in there? I don't know whether they'll have vert skating or not. I'm not sure about that. It'd be like a Vans street course setup, I should think, with bowls and stuff.
The other thing, what I want to say to everybody, then we're going to go again to the questions and everybody. I just want to say, every Sunday in the morning, we have a lady ride here in a live stream. I think that is very nice for us to bring ladies who are riding, and we have to, all of us men, we have to take care of the ladies who come to the rides. That we show that that is a fantastic sport for all of us. Yeah. That's why every Sunday is going to be lots till April. I have everything reserved every Sundays with fantastic lady riders, and if you have a chance, go there. I just want to tell you, Steve, that you are today the most view live of my channel.
That's all I've come for.
No, my friend, because you are a legend. You are a very happy person, very fantastic. I'm very proud to have you here and to know you, and have a lot. I'm learning a lot with you today. And first of all, I'm having lots of fun. Because you are a funny guy, my friend, and I see your videos, I see everything, and I know that the guys who are here today to see you, they know that you are a very special person of the community, and we are blessed to have you in the community.
Oh, thank you, Nelson. Thank you. That's fine.
Let's see what the guys is talking about.
This guy's going past.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like I said, we went to school together, and we started in Evenley in '77, the year Elvis Presley died. And the highlight of our life was the new tarmac in Churchleys, which was a housing estate in our village, and they put that tarmac down. Yeah, and it was a slope of tarmac, but that was all we needed back then. It had a few raised curbs that we could jump off, and maybe a couple of drains we could rattle over. And then Wicksteed Park was a big of a concrete skate park. I put a video on the other week. I found in a load of films from my mum and dad had taken on a little Cine 8 I found probably 8 minutes of me skateboarding as a 13-year-old in this concrete Wicksteed Park, and just to have that, to be able to have that, it's this flickering image, it really does make me feel quite old. I feel when I'm on here, definitely.
We are not old, my friend. We are what we are.
I'm young in here, mate. I'm young in here,
Yes,
my hair's turning grey, I need glasses, my teeth are falling out, and I stink.
Like me, my friend.
Yeah.
That we have to accept the reality and enjoy it, and inside that is the important thing. That when here is clean, my friend, then everything is perfect.
It's the quote from Jay Adams, rest in peace. Hang on. You didn't quit skateboarding because you got old. You got old because you quit skateboarding.
Yeah, that is very good, my friend. That is the first time I listened to this one.
Oh, really? Yeah, Jay Adams, rest in peace. But yeah, I mean, he says it all right there. You can't make excuses for yourself and say, "No, I'm not skateboarding anymore because I'm feeling a bit old." You've already quit. You know what I mean?
Let's see what everybody's taking, because I don't want to miss nobody. I know that Steve.
Come on, you riders!
Come on, you riders! Yeah. Who is this one? This is that is a AUC vibes. That is there is lots of.
He's a nutter. He's got to be an absolute mentalist. If he's on one of those unicycles and riding like anybody.
Yeah.
I've seen in that Trails website.
They are very crazy.
I don't know how you land on one wheel like that. I raced a few of those EUCs and one wheels when we're down in Maidenhead on the go-kart track, and I thought, well, these guys are just going to be like just dicking about and doing this. But no way, they're fast.
Very fast.
Yeah, and the physics, you could literally turn on the sixpence. There's a whole stance thing going on, isn't there? I mean, like if you're happy standing and facing down the hill, your toes pointing down the hill. So you're on roller skates, you're on skis, you're on a bike, or you're on an EUC. That's a particular stance. Your chest is pointing down the hill. I've always been side on. My chest is pointing across the hill. I've always been on a board. I'm goofy, of course, because goofy is the best way to ride. Right foot forward. And Nelson, are you goofy or regular?
Yeah, I'm goofy.
Good boy. You see, I knew that. I didn't need to ask.
I am goofy, my friend.
I've always been that side on board orientation, and I'll never be able to kick it. And I know that if I got on an EUC, I'd love to give it a go. I know that I would struggle with it because of the stance of me being, chest on the valley, just pointing off down the hill like that. I'm not that comfortable on a bike. I've ridden bikes, I've jumped bikes and all that stuff as a kid and things, but I still don't really feel that comfortable in that particular stance. As soon as I'm side on, I'm in my goofy position. I'm crap at switch. I don't like going back.
Let's see what we have more here. Hope to take more along with us the lights and the range power. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's power. About it. Yeah. Well, it will happen with the batteries. I mean, same thing will happen for race boards. You're absolutely right. It will happen. All it comes down to batteries. The only thing that's going to change in this now, I mean, for the first 25 years of skateboarding, there was many different models, styles came out. We had the rails, we had the lappers, we had coping, we had the tombstone, we had all sorts of size, shape and boards, and now we've got this generic lozenge shape, equal end, nose and tail, with a fairly simple truck, lightweight aluminium, with some wheels, fairly simple size and hardness. That is the generic skateboard. It's never going to change from that now.
Yeah.
It's finally arrived and sorted. And we probably haven't arrived there yet. I said it with mountain board, you know, I've been saying it for years, you know, we still haven't really arrived with the generic accepted. The fact that people are still out there experimenting and bringing out new styles and shapes and materials and products and stuff, we probably haven't quite arrived there yet with the mountain boards. We've definitely arrived there with longboards, you know. And
I think that is very important for all the communities. We have here a unicycle, electric unicycle, and if you are from the communities, don't go. We can go for rides together. If you have a one wheel, if you have a scooter, if you have a mountain board, why don't we cannot go together? Why do we have to be separated? Everybody from everybody. We can do everything together.
Yeah, I could say a bit about scooters there, but I won't. I'll leave it.
A scooter is wrong. I don't want to say a scooter.
Yeah,
I want to say
I
want to say electro unicycles, and we can do. Yeah, please.
Well, yeah. One thing that comes with age, Nelson. I don't know how old you are. I don't need to know. But one thing that comes of age is a certain
47, my friend. 47. I'm going to
You're looking good, dude. You're looking better than
me. No, my friend. I'm looking. Is everything white, my friend? Like you. Don't. Boom.
You might appreciate what I'm going to say then. With age comes a certain acceptable bigotry. You're allowed to have a certain opinion about certain things and maybe just be able to get away. I'm not saying racist, homophobic, sexist, or anything like that. That is whatever that's said, that is unacceptable. But as a skater and skating ramps all my life, most of my life since the age of 13, I was there on my ramp skateboarding. Then one day a guy shows up on a BMX. And before the BMX arrived, it was just skateboarders on skateboards, skateboarding in the skate park. And the BMX came along. So we had to make room for the BMX. We used to call them BMX bandits. And, you know, they came in and eventually we let them in. We let them into our skate parks and the BMX guys came along. And we put up with them for about maybe even 10 years. And then the fruit booters, the bin liners, the inline skates. You see, already I've turned into the bigger. But then they showed up and we had to let them in. So now we've got a skate park full of skateboarders, BMX bandits, and we got the inline skaters, the bin liners as well. And then on top of that, you've got the roller snake boards, these skateboards that are like sort of split in half and kind of things. Got to let them in because, you know, they're allowed as well. And then after that, give it another 5, 6, 10 years, in come the scooters. Boom. And it's, you know, it's all a bit of fun. But like, you know, always the new kid on the block in the skate park, the new fab, the new craze is going to get it, you know, it's going to get it stuck to them basically because the skaters have paid their dues. They've paid to play. The BMX bikers have been there long enough. They've paid to play, you know, and all that, you know, and the scooter boys, the new kids on the block. And of course, there's always that, the ethics of a skate park. You don't drop in on somebody else. You don't. Yeah, the sunny pics, mate. I can laminate and I can post any of them to you. This one up here is a beauty. Look at that.
So beautiful.
Yeah, man.
But wait a second.
It's sunny at his best. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it changed the way of the videos from Trampa.
Oh yeah.
It makes it creates lots of fun for the.
Ted's not stupid. He knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? Everybody prefers Andy. Matt, you finally said it. That's the first time I've heard it from you. Yeah, so, you know, like, you know, skate parks and all that, you know. So, yeah, I have a little bit of a joke about scooters and stuff, you know. But, yeah, they're on the block because they'll have to pay their dues. Sooner or later, somebody else will show up. Well, it'll be electric skateboards, you know, and electric scooters and all that lot. They'll be the ones who'll be getting it in the neck from all the gravity fed guys, the Puritans, the pure guys who rely on gravity and nature's force. You know, I mean, out of all the board sports, I think surfing has got to be the one. I've never been a big surfer because for me, surfing is just an awful lot of fucking hard work for a little bit of payback. You know, you've got to go to, I mean, I've only ever really surfed, and I was lucky. I travelled around the world a long time ago, and I got to surf in some really nice places. You know, with blue seas and white sand and stuff. You go down Newquay in Mars, you know, and the sea's brown and there's a couple of condoms floating in it. It's not Bali, it's not Sri Lanka, you know what I mean? It's a different kind of. You've got to be totally committed, and you've got to be really into catching that wave. And then you get in the sea and you paddle out and it's killing you, and you get out and wait for half a fucking hour to get on a wave, and somebody else catches it 2 seconds before you. You know, it's, yeah, out of all the board sports, it's the purest of them all, I should think. Harnessing the wave. I've only ever really caught half a dozen, you know, waves that I could say that, you know, I actually properly rode out and really, really enjoyed. But I've spent a lot of time in the sea not catching them, you know what I mean? You know, snowboarding, it's the most expensive, but it's, oh, no, e-boarding is the easiest. You know, snowboarding, unless you live in the snow, I have to get on a plane, I have to park my car at an airport, get on a plane and go to the Alps. But once I'm there, I've got to lift up and I've got to ride down and lift up and ride down and lift up and ride down.
That is what is expensive, my friend.
Yeah. Mountain boarding has, you know, I'm lucky. There's lots of hills around here for mountain boarding, but I've got to walk back up those hills. You know, you, as they say at the moment in the Alps, you're earning those turns. Anybody who wants to ride in the Alps at the moment is walking up the hills because all the lifts are shut, but they're doing it. Fair play to them. I mean, that's pure. You know, putting a board on your back or a split board or whatever, and just setting off up the Alps in the morning. And, you know, and again, you know, when it snows around here, I'll climb up a hill around here. It'll take me 15 minutes to get up there. My lungs are on my sleeve by the time I have to shove them back in because I'm nearly dying from the big bullshit. And I'll ride down the hill for 20 seconds. It'll be a 20-second ride. And I'll have to get back up the hill and do it all again. Going, is this really perfect? Yeah, e-boards, you just step out, strap in, hit play, then you're off, you know, ding, 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 get them gold coins.
What I just want to say hello to Amar. He's a great YouTuber. He's doing lots of good stuff. He's saying hello to you, my friend.
Yeah, hi, mate.
That's a fantastic guy. And then we have the second brother from the. That is Andy. The one. That is the Andy now. Now you love it. Andy is okay. Andy, you know. Then you have the Matt.
and Matt will agree with me.
And now we have inspiration, Steve. That is true. Steve is an inspiration for all of us, and that's the important thing. And if you have the chance, I hope that Steve is going to make lots of events, more off-road for everybody to go. Next time, I hope that this COVID is a way that I can come to UK and have a bless with you, my friend. Have a drink. That is always important. Let's see everybody, because today we have lots of people riding. Do you still empty? Yeah, we answered to this.
We touched on this. Yeah, I mean, mate, I have no reason to take that risk anymore.
You have a bless now.
Without doubt, for me, mountain boarding is the purest for me. And there are times when you're on a mountain board, when you are riding, especially in the woods, that the only option that is left to you at this particular point in survival is you need to lock and load, and you need to just ride it out. Bailing out, sliding out, finding an alternative line isn't an option. Yeah. You just have to lock and load, and you ride it out. And for those next 15, 20 seconds of when you're riding that section and you are blasting it and you're nailing it, is a moment of pure clarity. I mean, it's I don't want to sound cliched or anything, but it is. It's you're living in the now, and living in the now is a really important part of the human psyche. I read about it the other week about, like, you know, why rock climbers do what they do, why we do what we do, while people take adrenaline risks, because it's very, very rare that you get the opportunity to live in the now and empty your mind of absolutely all the crap that's going on, and you are reverting back to a primeval survival instinct. You just have to empty everything else and not think about anything else, and just to survive and do everything you should be doing right there and then and now, and get out. And when you do that, and you get out the other end and you haven't twatted yourself or spanned yourself or hit a tree or hit a rock and torn half your arse off or whatever, if you do make it out the end, the paybacks and the dividends on that are absolutely massive. And the only problem with e-boarding and snowboarding that I can see is that both of those have a break, and you can break and you can change that situation. Whereas on a mountain board, you have no option. You lock and load, you face Mecca, you kiss Buddha's ass, you have whatever it is, and you lock and load and you go. And if you get out the other side and you've made it, it's euphoric, it's biblical, it really is. It's, you know, that's a fantastic feeling, and it's really hard to replicate. You know, I mean, Hunter S. Thompson, Fear and Loneliness, they bought an adrenaline gland. You know, that was the only way they could do it. You know, but we have this pumping through our veins where every time we take a risk and living in the now, and it's really important. I can do more panda facts. I mean, if you want a panda fact.
That you have here from Andy.
You know, Nelson, the pandas are slightly magnetic.
Mm-hmm.
They've got such a high iron content in their liver from their diet of bamboo. It gives them a really high iron content in their liver. And so if you blindfold panda, it always will head towards magnetic north. Magnetic pandas. There you go. There's a panda fact for you.
I didn't know it. That's very good to know. I didn't know. Believe it or not, I didn't know it.
Look it up on Google, mate. Honestly.
Yeah, I'm going to see it. Let's see all the rest of the. I think we're not going to do everything because there's lots of people riding. And we'll just see. Have some empty plans. Look forward to
get on it, dude. Absolutely
don't stop, my friend. Don't put your ideas out and build it.
As I say in my video, just ride it. You know what I mean? Don't worry about Andrew Cooper. Get on to Ted. Have a word with Ted at Tramper. He'll sort you out, man. Simple. You need a Tramper board, Andrew Cooper. More events, more eyes on it, the better.
Yeah, of course. That is Jay Bolson is agreeing what you said before. What we are talking about. Keep getting more with us. Yeah, that is very important. Group rides, we have to stick together. The media is always
it's the biggest thing about social media I hate is the divisiveness of it. It's very easy for people to say things on social media. You'd never say that to them in the face.
Yeah.
If you were in the same room as them or in the same pub as them,
they're not.
It's so easy to type it and hit send, boom.
That's you.
Yeah, that's what I said, Matt. There would be Nova at the Olympics. It would be park and street.
Like that's still going on, not holding back, only old in your feet. Yeah, I don't know. Hello, Scott. That is from Australia too. That is a nice YouTuber. Good morning, my friend. We are finished. We are finished the night. We are starting, and that is fantastic.
Yeah, when do you need to go to bed, Nelson? Have we got much? I mean, I'm here all night. You know what I mean?
No. We're going to see the rest of the question. I have some questions for you. Then
I was going to say, should we start the interview? You know, we were going to do an interview, weren't we?
Yes, but that's
so far we've just been chatting and talking.
Yeah, but that is the important. That's why my interviews, my friend, is like this. Let it flow.
You're like Parky. You know how to get the best out of someone.
Yeah, but I don't think if you do like a robot, it's not going to be the same thing. I want to know you as a person. I don't want the people to know you what you don't are. That is this crazy and stupid questions that everybody makes. I don't want. I just want us to be free and enjoying.
Yeah.
Let's see the other one. Nobody else. And that's why I make these ones. Everybody always asks me, "Do you have some questions?" I always tell.
Bring
I
this
don't have.
No,
I yeah. Everyone trying more questions. No, okay. I'm going to go to some questions because I want to make it. It's like this. What is important for Steve? Speed or enjoying the board? Having
technical stuff. I would rather go slow not slow, but slower, and find things to hit, technical stuff. You know, like I'd always prefer twistier, more turns. The more turns, the better. The more jumps, the more stuff to avoid, negotiate, the better. You know, like you can. It's the way I snowboard. You know, quite often when we go there'll be. I can tell you that, Matt. And that's with your brother Andy.
I know it's going to come something. When I see the question, I say it's going to be a very nice answer.
But like, you know, when we go snowboarding as a crew, like, you know, we'd always take the last lift up to the top of the mountain. That was the deal. Like, you'd always get up to the top, and once you got to the top on the last lift, you would wait for that lift to empty, and you'd wait for everybody else to go down the hill. So there'd be about 6 of us at the top. And we would have a little bit of rum out of a hip flask, a little bit of a smoke or whatever, and let everybody go. And then it would be a shout of like, last one in the bar buys the beers. I would always, straight away, I'll get the beers, lads. Because they would race, and they would be the fastest down the hill. And I would just wait, and then I'd just stand there and look, and I've got the whole mountain to myself. Everybody has gone. Yeah, okay. It's a little bit risky if it all went wrong and I was left there, but I knew that my mates were there, and if Steve hadn't been home within the next 10 minutes, they would, you know, say we were on this run and they'd get help. You know, that's not a problem. But I'd take that moment just to spend my own time going down the hill, finding what I like to hit, finding the hits. No rush, just enjoy yourself, carve it out, hit the bumps, hit the jumps. So yeah, rather than going fast, don't get it, because you're missing everything. You know, open your eyes, look up, look round, look down, look for the jumps, look for the hits, look for the bumps. That's, yeah, definitely. I'd rather go slower and take the. It's not always about a destination; it's the journey, isn't it?
I just want to say something, guys. That was the first interview that I don't make most. I think I don't make no questions. I think I make 2 or 3 questions, and the rest was just enjoying the time. And we are close to 2 hours. And believe it or not, that is fantastic, my friend.
That was painless. I mean, yeah, like I said, let's get started. I don't even feel when you start.
Yeah, because it was good, my friend. That is the important thing of this. That's why I make this, because we have to have fun with this.
Yeah.
That's the important thing. But the guys are asking, everybody's asking you questions. That's why I'm going to put it here. The question from Dan. Do you have the?
That's a tricky one, but yeah. I have a big hatred for Queen, Nelson. Dan, this is Dan. He knows this. I don't like Queen at all. So never ride a board again or have to listen to Queen every time you step.
Let's leave it.
But it'd have to be the latter. I'd have to find a way of just, you know, as some people do, I get a white noise sort of like filter fitted into my ears or something. Yeah, I couldn't not ride. So yeah, setup for ideal changes. Well, I don't really know, because my setup is an off-road riding. Ideal changes. Well, get some heel straps. You need to strap on fully with your board. This time of year in the wet and the dirt, you probably need 9-inch. Would you rather ride with flat tires constantly or have to ride regular stance? Brindy,
regular.
I ride with flat tires. There's no way I'm ever going to start riding regular. That's for donut. Rollerblades or scooter. Whoa.
Forget it.
I think probably because of the stance, it would have. No.
That is not good.
Really? Fifth Amendment, I can plead. Can I plead the Fifth Amendment?
Yeah, please.
If I say something, I might do that. Yeah. I'm not going to answer that, really. And then I haven't got.
That was very good. My friend, let's go to. I'm going to try to make some questions, because till now I don't make no questions. Everybody makes the question for us. I'm just having fun. I'm having a blast here. How many countries do you travel till today with this magic events that you do, my friend?
How many?
All around
With
the world.
boards, or how many countries? With boards, I've probably been. Well, snowboarding, I've been in.
Yeah, with snowboard, surfing, and everything, my friend.
Oh, fuck. Oh, really? I've surfed in Australia, Bali, Sri Lanka, Kenya.
A lot.
That's about it. Yes. Snowboarded just in Europe, Finland. Actually, no, I had a little go in Australia on Kosciuszko. Finland, Slovenia, France. Skied in Austria, skied in Italy, skied in France. Skateboarded in Ecuador and Quito. Oh my God. Quito is at 300 meters above sea level or something, the capital of Ecuador. And I go for a park. Whenever I traveled quite a bit, and whenever you would travel, I used to judge the civilization of a nation by the state of its natural history museum. Of all things, if you went to its natural history museum and see how well it stuffed its animals, you could get a fairly good gauge of how its nation was operating per se. You know, how full its prisons were and how good its hospitals were and stuff. If they could stuff a shark properly, then they were doing okay. So you'd go to their natural history museum and have a look at their stuffed animals. It was something to do when you got to a capital city somewhere, and it's a little joke that we used to do. I get to Quito, I found their natural history museum was in the middle of a massive park. And I see this guy on a BMX bike just flying up into the air, and I go, wow, there's a big jump there. So I walk over, see the BMX park, and it looked great. And then I thought, I wonder. Carried on walking, found the most exceptional mega skate park, just concrete everywhere, beautiful, full pipe, snake run with coping all the way down it, bowls, street section, rails, everything. Not a soul there apart from about 6 ladies all in high vis jackets sweeping all the leaves out of it, keeping the place clean. About an hour later, this guy showed up, a local kid with a skateboard. His English was better than my Spanish, but not much better. And between us, we managed to work out that I came from Bristol and I was a skateboarder. And he said, Bristol, Danny Wainwright. I goes, yeah, Danny Wainwright's a mate of mine. And so I said, 50-50 and all that in Bristol. I goes, can I borrow your board? And he said, yeah. And he gave me his skateboard, and I thought, great, I've got this park to myself. There's ladies sweeping it clean. What can be better? I get a drop in down the snake run, and I'm up on the coping and just riding down this snake run into this full pipe, up each side of that a few turns, and then into this big old bowl, another carve around, and I'm dead. I fall off the board. I can't breathe anymore. We're 3,000 meters above sea level, and like that, just that altitude and that sort of like exertion, and the fact that I was traveling, so I wasn't probably exercising that much much anyway. I spent a lot of time in the hammock, drinking beers and stuff. But God, it absolutely ruined me. It was shocking. But yeah, Quito was probably the best place I'd probably skateboarded. I think beautiful park. Yes, there you go. So yeah, I've skated in a few countries and mountain boarded in fewer. Where have you gone, Nelson? I can't hear you, dude. What's happening?
No.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, perfect. Because the contact here is like.
Yeah, that's it. Hit it really hard, Nelson. That will fix it.
You have here from Matt another question.
Yeah, well, I can do Blue Magnum. Blue Steel. Or Magnum. I'd always ever turn left, I think. Oh, turn right. Idiot.
Then we have here, okay, that is Sonny, Steve, and
Sonny every time.
Yeah, and then we have now. We have a new. Yes. We have a very special person here too. That is Eamon. Hello, Eamon.
Hey, Eamon. Freestyle.
He's going to come here.
If you were filming it, Eamon, of course I'd have to do it, wouldn't I? Yeah. Yeah, I would drop into that onto the airbag, but it's not really my bag. But I mean, I'd do it. Yes, Eamon.
Eamon is going to be here on the 30th of March. He's going to come
I
here
spoke
with
to him
us.
today. He's going to come down and do some filming for my website for my carpentry business.
That is perfect.
I'm getting a website set up, so Eamon's going to come and do the filming for that. So I spoke to him today, and he said that he's on with you, Nelson, in about a month's time. Yeah,
he's going to come here. It was
very
fantastic.
Spreading the love, dude. You're keeping it real.
Yeah, I think that I think that is amazing that everybody is coming. I have lots of persons who coming and riders. That's the important thing for me.
Yeah.
For all of us is riders. And then go it, and then Steve, what is stay here? And Steve, do you like to change your board?
Ooh, what to make better? Jesus, well, the weight, Treventy or Treventy, tricky on that. I would say, I'd make it lighter, and that's about it. Because, my tramper board isn't the big boy. My deck, I'd like a wider stance.
I think the big problem is the batteries. When they change the batteries a little.
Weight of the batteries, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? I mean, that's the one thing that you would like to try and move and get rid of on your ride. But I can't do much about that. I mean, yes, put a pair of 9-inch on the back during the wet and the mud and stuff. Lose the weight on the batteries, and maybe next time I'm going to be upgrading my tramper fairly soon, I should think, and I'll go for a wider stance. I'll go for the large deck, the big boy. Apart from
Let's see here.
There's nothing more I can do for it, really. Everything's working fine.
Yeah, I just want to go there. Very nice to see you. I think he's going. I just want to. I was just going to ask you: are you a rider just for day, or you sometimes go for a ride in the evening?
Mate, I ride in the evening. Yeah, and again, anybody who knows me, as soon as it gets dark, by the time it's dark, normally I'm drunk. Which makes a difference. Back from the pub and to the pub with head torches. I just find it, again, it's super exhilarating. I've done it a couple of times on a mountain board with a head torch in the woods on tracks I know, and even though I know those tracks, at night time everything is completely different, and it is a massive assault of the senses, and it is really, really interesting, and it's really exciting, and it's refreshing. Like, you could ride that track every day of your life, and then you do it at night with a head torch on, and suddenly it's different. I probably haven't done enough, and I've snowboarded at night with a head torch, and that's just bonkers, because the speed you go on the snowboard, to be honest, the head torch that I had at the time just couldn't keep up. It wasn't shining far enough ahead of me to be able to see anything of any significance. By the time I could see it, it was too fucking late. I'd hit it. You know what I mean? And on the e-board, we've done it to the pub and back and things like that. And Maidenhead multi-story car park was almost a night I'd try and forget. Systems, Joe from Tramper, we had the option. We could either go out in town with Sonny and Nathan and Dave and get completely rat-faced and wipe a whole day out of my life next day, or we could go back to the multi-story car park, me and Joe. And I went with Joe back to the multi-story car park, very drunk, and I hit it really hard with my shoulder, and that was quite dark, and that certainly hurt and took me out, and it gave me a little bit of a shake up. Riding at night, riding at night drunk isn't particularly advisable. Riding
no, at all. That's not right. Let's go to another question, my friend. That is like this: what was the worst moment that you have in your life with this sport?
With electric boards.
With electric boards.
Worst moment of my life with an electric board. Probably nothing too scary yet. Yeah,
that is very good.
Hmm?
That's very good.
Yeah, nothing too crazy that's really shaken me up. I mean, I've had a few shakes in the past. I mean, to be honest, if I looked at my entire boarding history, what's really scared me, I've had a couple of near misses with cars on skateboards, on riding the street. Waves, surfing, you know, when you get caught in a wave surfing, that's pretty scary, or you're near the
I know,
rocks.
my friend. I come from a country that my house is.
You're Portuguese, aren't you? No,
Yeah, I'm from south. I'm from south of Portugal. My house is about 3 meters from the sea.
Yeah, so you are on the Atlantic coast. I mean, like, you know, Portugal has the biggest waves in the world. Is it Nazaré?
Yes. Nazaré. Yeah, Nazaré.
Yeah,
but was found not too many years. That was about 10 years. That before was there and nobody knows. But I come from the south and I go always to Sagres. Sagres is very aggressive waves, and in the winter you have the best waves. Very, very good to enjoy it.
Yeah, if you're good, you can enjoy it. Yeah, man, I've got to get good. Maybe one day that'll happen. So
today, not no more.
Scary thing, the scariest thing actually was hitting that multi-story car park really hard, because I glanced the side of my head. Joe's phone was out of battery, and I'd already dropped my phone and smashed the screen. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning. We're in Maidenhead. Nobody knows. Well, nobody knows where we are, and me and Joe certainly didn't know where we were. And I was very, very close to like really smashing my head against a concrete pillar. And if I had smashed my head against it, I'd have been on the floor twitching, probably like blood coming out my nose or whatever. And Joe, 18, 19, 20-year-old or whatever he is, it would be there like going, well, what do I do now? You know, I've got no phone. Steve hasn't got a phone. What do we do? That was probably the scariest moment. That's pure stupidity from me, going out riding a multi-story car park drunk. You know,
and what was the best moment, or one of the best moments you have, my friend?
On an e-board.
Because I know that you have lots of fantastic.
On an e-board, I would say I could probably put that down to 3. I would say on 3 occasions. I think the first would be the first time I ever got on it, when Eamon came down with Raf LaRoche and Johnny Burton, and we were in the mud, and I got on it. They're still chatting in the car park, and I just suddenly hit go, and I'm off. I think, wow, you know, it took 35 seconds of being stood on the board. I realised this is an amazing bit of kit. That moment was really, really good. The second moment, I'd have to say, probably just that track and riding it and racing it, and the amount of fun and the amount of people I overtook, and the whole weekend of the Evolve UK Championships. That was just so much fun, that track. I really, really enjoyed riding on that track, because you know, it's set up for a goofy rider. That was really good fun. The last half of the track was just beautiful for me. I really enjoyed it. And then there's 4 times. Every time I go to Minchinhampton Common and Ranwick Woods, both of those places are just great fun. But also the go-kart track at Maidenhead was just hilarious. I mean, when they turn the lights out and full day glow, and you've got 30 people on the track, and there's no order, there's no like sort of like you're first, you're second, whatever. All you do is you just hair around that track and overtake you possibly can. And you've got Brindy behind you screaming at you. You've got Sonny or Nathan Jenkins in front, and Dave in front of you, and you want to catch up with them. And if you ever do fall off, all you've got to do is stop by the side and wait for them to come and catch you up and start again. And you can do it all again, you know, because you've got like 15, 20 minutes on each session. You know, you just hurtle around this track, and it's tight, and the tyres are screaming. It's just so much fun. Yeah, this is it here. Yeah. And it'll, of course, every video you're ever on always looks slower than when you're actually riding it.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I mean, It was great. You never really got up to top speed because it was so technical and so twisty. You know, you could blat it as fast as you could, but sooner or later, before you actually hit top speed, you'd have to back off to get round the next corner or whatever. And it made for really, really good. It taught me a lot about throttle control, when to put the power on, when not to put the power on, when to take the power off and stuff. You know, yeah, just great fun. You know,
yeah, but the important thing, if you have riders that ride like you, the same style, you're going to have so much fun because everybody knows the right way to ride it. I know
you need to be able to predict wherever people are going to be on the track. It's the unpredictable, and which is why I've always loved border cross racing. You know, when you're riding border cross in mountain boarding, it can be a lottery. The only way to be certain of winning a border cross race is pull out the gates, get out first, and stay in first.
yes.
Because if there's somebody in front of you and they fall off, you can get round them. You might not. You know, your future is no longer in your hands if you're second by the person. That crash at the end there was hilarious. You know, I'm in the lead. Suddenly, I ditch it. Yeah,
that was for me one of the events that I was very, very sad not to be there, and because everybody, I want to say this. I always tell I have amazing around the world. I go to lots of places. Wait a second. I go to lots of places around the world for events. I love everybody, but UK, they take care of me like a family member. And I love to go to UK all the time. When I have a chance, I go riding with everybody there because it's a special place for me. And,
well, you're welcome here anytime, Nelson. Next time you're over, man, you come and look me up, yeah?
I always try to be but because of this lockdown, we cannot do nothing, and that is very sad for all of us. My friend, I have another question. I know that there's lots of questions here, but when we're going to answer this question, I don't have no chance to ask my questions.
Come on.
And then I want to ask you, from the electro boards that you try it, my friend. You just try Tramper or you try another electro boards?
I've only ever ridden a Tramper. I'll tell you why. Because the only opportunities I've had to ride other boards, really, because just about every I ride with is a Tramper crew. The only time I've had an opportunity to ride another board where someone said, look, here's a board, step on it, have a go, has been probably 3 occasions. Both times at Maidenhead at the go-kart track, and both times at Maidenhead at the go-kart track, I was having so much fun on my Tramper and loving it that you had 4 15, 20-minute sessions in a night. You pay your 20 quid, and there was a beginner session, a middling session, and then an advanced session. And the advanced session that we were in, we had 4 20-minute slots. And I wasn't prepared to sacrifice my fun. I really wasn't. If that was a regular thing, if that Maidenhead go-kart track was on every month, then I would try another board. But the fact that I didn't know when the next one was coming, or didn't know when the next one was going to be, when I was there, I wanted to maximize my fun. I wanted the ultimate enjoy. There was no point in me trying another board because I wasn't going to buy it. I couldn't afford it. Curiosity, maybe, but what I had underneath my feet worked. Just ride what you've got. And that's what I had, and that's what I did. So when I had the opportunity to ride somebody else's board at Maidenhead, because Evolve said, I know Kevsey and the rest of them, they said, just try one of our boards, mate. Go and take that out for a spin. Didn't want to because I was having too much fun on mine. I wanted to perfect my riding on my board. I wanted to get as good as I could on that before I even had the time. So yeah, if another one came up, maybe I would. And probably the only other time I've been exposed and ridden with people on other boards was the day that I arranged down at Ranwick, and most people are on Trampers. There was only a couple of people on Evolves that day, and the rain was me. sorted for it, and I was leader of the pack. I was having to show people I was the guide. The last thing I wanted to be doing that day was riding something that I wasn't familiar with. So I haven't really had the opportunity, because I haven't been on that many group rides where the boards have been. So yeah, no, I haven't. I can't really comment on anybody else's boards apart from having looked at them and anecdotal.
And I just want to have a question here for first. What music do you rock on your rides?
That's a question.
Because you are a rock guy.
Well, I grew up with punk and ska. I'm
Okay.
Specials, Rude Boy, The Clash. That, you know, back in the day. But I've moved on from that, of course. You know, I've embraced the future. You know, there's also all types of music that I like. But specifically riding, I like to hear what's going on. I've snowboarded with headphones in. I don't like it. I like to be able to hear what my edges are doing. I like to hear what I'm right. I noise it. It's part of the sensation. And to block it out with music, I have ridden, and probably one of the best songs I've ever ridden to is Nina Simone's Cinnamon. I just love it. Just riding a long, long run down a hill, just that battling along in the back. If you're just cruising and you're not looking for anything special, then yes, you can cruise with some music on. I see nothing wrong with that. But it's very rare. I feel like just cruising. I'm always out. I want to attack the hill. I want to go and I want to maximize my fun. And part of that is the whole sensual sensation, the vision. You know, there's nothing better than when that silence that you can hear in the Alps, in the snow, because of all the snow, noise doesn't travel very far. It's softened, it's deadened. It's a weird kind of hearing. It's not a kind of hearing that you experience out on the ocean or in an echoey room, a big church or whatever. It's a different kind of sensation when you're in the Alps with the snow. It deadens the vibration, and I like to be part of that and belong to that. I rarely ride listening to music. If you want to know what kind of music I like the Orb. I like you know, where do I start? You know, I love reggae, Burning Spear, Indian Commodity, Dinosaur. You know, fucking hell. I mean, how long we got?
The important thing, I love the old music, and today the music changed so much, and sometimes I'm a little lose myself because it's nothing to do with me. But I have to respect that is for the young guys, and
absolutely.
I'm going to stand by my music that I love it before. I love punk, I love reggae, I love rock. I love to go to my concerts. I come from
hate Queen. Let's get that out there.
But that is not rock music, my friend.
No, that's shit.
That is pop music.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do to explain for the young guys who are there is going to be difficult, but we're going to leave it for next time. My friend, I just want to I'm just going to ask you the one question for the guys here. Is like we're going to finish because we are more than 2 hours here.
Yeah, man. I need to take. It's 2 hours 20 minutes nearly.
Yeah,
I really need to go.
Yeah, we're going to go to bed. I just want to, my friend. We're going to take next time. We can do it again. I just want to ask you the important thing for everybody there. If you don't answer the questions this time, next time we're going to try to ask, and we're going to try to bring Steve in some months here again. I just want to say something like this, my friend.
For that question, you know, by the time that question, it's a good question. Do you take a second battery pack or a beer pack? Normally, the way I ride, by the time my batteries are rinsed, my legs are rinsed. You know, if I'd run out my batteries and I wasn't knackered and tired, then I'm doing it wrong. You know what I mean? If I'm right, you know, where I ride, I want to be pushing myself and not hurting myself in a way of falling off and stuff. But I want to be, my batteries will last me probably 2 hours in the woods riding hard, and at my age, riding hard in the woods. That's the other thing about mountain. Sorry, we forget. We've moved on, Nelson. But this is another big thing about e-boarding that really hit me very, very early on is the length of focus you need. If you're riding in the woods and you are in a technical section of woodland, when you're riding a regular mountain board, that technical section would last maybe a minute, maybe a minute and a half at the most, because most woodland stretches in this country, if you're riding downhill, don't last much longer than that at the speed you're riding. You'll ride for a minute and a half, and then you can switch back on again, and you can walk up the hill, and you can chat, and you can have a laugh and whatever before you click back in. When you're on an e-board, you can ride through the woods for 20, 30 minutes. And like when I was first doing it, I was like doing this. I was like riding through the woods and batting through them as fast as I could, turning, and realized after about 15, 20 minutes, I was not just exhausted, I was mentally exhausted because I've been focusing and concentrating so hard for so long. So for a long ride, it doesn't happen. You take a second battery pack or a beer pack. I would rather take one battery pack and a beer pack. I ride really hard and rinse my batteries and then have the beer. And, you know,
that is perfect.
Why cruise along for 4 hours with a second battery pack doing boggle? If my legs were young enough to do that, low ran, that's exactly what I would do. I'd take a second battery pack and keep riding. But to me, honestly,
with the beer too.
If I've been ragging it for two hours over all the lumps and bumps and jumps and stuff that I've been doing, I'm happy with that. I'll have a beer, thank you. Right, Nelson, your question.
My friends, I just want to say something. We are close to 2.5 hours. I'm going to try to.
That's the interviewer.
No, that's the guys. The guys, they are fantastic. They come everybody to see you. I just want to say thank you very much. If you have the chance, we are going close to 500 subscribers. I don't want to have here 100,000. I just want to have persons who love to come here and see the guys who are in the interviews. We don't have to have 10,000. We have to have 500 good guys and people who enjoy this and come to see Steve. Come to see the other guys. I just want to say something. I'm going to leave the last words for you, my friend. I want to say thank you guys for coming. I hope that you come very soon to the next interview. The next interview is going to be Alex from La Croix Owners. He's the owner from La Croix. He's a fantastic person too, from Canada. But first of all, thank you all. And for you, my friend, you have the last words for your everybody who came here to see you. If you can say everything you want.
I can sum it up quite quickly. You know, peer pressure sucks. Ride what you got. Just fucking ride it.
Perfect. Okay, my friends, we're going to go out. Enjoy it. Have a good day. Be all of you safe.
Thanks,
enjoy your life. And please, if you have the chance, subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, it's not a problem. And be safe, you and your families and your friends. We see you in the next interview.